What's up, guys? So I got a lot of comments on my picture of my meal yesterday. So I figured I'd make this little video on meal prepping, and it's really easy, man. Like, once you get the basics down, there's not much to it. And you'll find yourself putting your own personal spin on things. So let's start with the meal I made yesterday. So it's crock pot chicken breast. And for chicken breast, for meal prepping, crock pot is my favorite way to go. Chicken breast is notorious for really drying out and not being the greatest, 2 or 3 days down the road. Crock pot takes care of this. So you take your chicken breast, season it how you want, salt as a minimum. As a minimum, use some fucking salt. Um, for this dish was kind of Mexican inspired, so I also used adobo. I used chili powder, garlic powder, cumin, um, sazon, paprika. I think that's it. And so season your chicken first. Even if you are going to have it covered in a liquid like I did, and it's going to absorb some of that liquid's flavor, for fuck's sake, white people, especially you, season your fucking chicken. So I seasoned my chicken, got it arranged in the crock pot. I just used salsa this time. You can find a liquid of your choice. Oftentimes I'll use like the G Hughes sugar-free barbecue sauces. And depending upon your goals, be they bulking, maintaining, cutting, where your calories lie, what you need, you can certainly use a full flavored something or another. Uh, and you'll find your own taste. But for this time, I just used salsa. I just grabbed a store brand salsa, and my season was chicken well enough. Didn't have to be some fancy salsa. I just basically needed the liquid for my chicken to cook in. And after, I don't know, 3 hours or so, the chicken will break down, and you can literally just take a fork and shred it up, and then let it cook in there another hour or two, and in its shredded form, it will really absorb all that liquid and good flavor. And then when it's done, pair it with what you want to pair it with. In this case, I used some pico de gallo and guacamole. Just some, they were in plastic containers at my local Kroger, pre-made. Made it easy. You could certainly make it yourself and cut cost if you wanted to. Generally, meal prepping your meals are going to be just cheaper by nature anyway, even if you don't actively seek to try to make them cheap, which you very much can. And you can eat very well and very nutritious foods for very, very cheap in relation to what you would spend going to a restaurant or eating out every day. Um, but so that was my crock pot chicken that I made, and it's fucking delicious. And pairing it with the pico and the guac, it's very low carb. This one, very high protein, and just a little bit of fats. And I did that on purpose. I'm only eating twice a day right now. So I made sure to put some fats in there because chicken breast is virtually fat free. But yeah, that's that recipe that I made. It's fucking simple. Crock pot, it's hard to mess up a crock pot dish. And that's why I like it for chicken breast in particular, because they dry out so fast, whether they're grilled, pan fried, whatever. You can't fuck up a crock pot dish unless it's just a flavor you don't like, then it's on you. But anyway, going further into meal prep, just the basics. You want a protein, generally a protein, a carb, and a fat. Your protein could also be your fat source, and then something for flavor. For fuck's sake, like, it doesn't have to be boring food. Like the pico de gallo is fucking fantastic. Salsa, another one, fantastic. Cholula hot sauce. I like the green pepper flavor. It's fucking amazing. And these flavorings add virtually 0 calories. So don't be afraid to put flavor on your food, aside from the seasoning itself. Um, Air fryers, fucking game changers. As far as like if I'm gonna air fryer meal prep, I prefer chicken thighs. I'll put them in the air fryer. Uh, I go a little ham on mine. Generally, like 15 to 17 minutes. I like to cook mine for almost 30 because I like them to be very crispy on the outside. And chicken breast has some fat in it, so it's really hard to overcook them, which makes them great for reheating as well. They generally keep better than chicken breast, so you don't necessarily have to go that crock pot route like I did with the chicken breast. Um, and also ground beef is another one, very cost effective, and you can just fucking make it in a pan. Again, season, be liberal with your seasonings. Just my favorite seasonings in general: adobo, sazon, Cavender's Greek seasoning, and then like a Jamaican or Caribbean jerk style seasoning. These are four fucking fantastic ones, aside from the regular salt, pepper, chili powder, garlic powder, things like that. Don't minced garlic can be a great thing to use in these. But anyway, with ground beef, what I like to do, you don't necessarily have to pay up for the really lean ground beef. You can get, an 80/20 or even a 73/27 if you catch it on sale. And when you're cooking it, you're cooking it in a pan, drain it in a colander, and rinse it with water. And you can make that meat really lean. It's not going to have as much protein as the already, like the 93.7, but you are going to significantly reduce the fat and calories that are in it using that method. And then for a carb source, rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, your staples, they're all relatively cheap. You can certainly work some fruit in there. Like, for example, if I'm making like a beef and rice dish, I almost always will grab like the little pineapple fruit cups and I will dump one of those in there. The moisture helps with the reheating, and I like pineapple with meat. It pairs really well, the sweet and savory. Um, Peas are another something I like to throw into my beef and rice. It adds a little crunch. There's some extra protein with the peas. Um, but texture matters a lot when you're eating the same foods, 4 or 5 days in a row. So little things like that can go a long way. And now, as far as your fats, if you're using beef, and you're not draining it like I said to do, or like, then obviously you don't need a fat source to go with it. But fats can help a lot with the reheating process. If you want to just dump in like a tablespoon of olive oil or something like that, depending on how much fat you need at the moment, or even putting a little bit of real butter in there. And I say real butter, I don't give a fuck if you like the spreads or whatever. I don't like the taste of them, so I get real butter. Whether it's, better for you or whatever, I don't really worry about that. It just tastes better, so I use it. And then, like I did with this dish, guacamole, or you can just buy avocados. But Kroger has some pre-made guacamole that's pretty good. And when you get these pre-made things, again, on the containers, just look at the ingredients and see what's in there. If it's, something that's all willy-nilly that doesn't suit you, then, by all means, go and make your own. But it's really easy to just grab those and dump them into something. So that's what I like doing. I like to keep my meal prep easy. Generally speaking, I take an hour on Sundays. Obviously, with a crock pot chicken, it takes like 6 to 7 hours to get it done. But you can just put it in a crock pot and you can forget about it for a couple hours, and then you shred your chicken, and then you forget about it for a couple more hours. You're going about your day, doing your own thing. And then when it's actually ready to be put into the containers, you can do your other shit. You cook your rice, etc. Rinse your fucking rice. Be another tip, particularly for my white brethren. Something maybe we didn't all grow up knowing. Rinse your rice. Put it in your whatever you're gonna cook it in. Stir it around with your fingers. Dump out the milky water 2 or 3 times. When the water's clear, then you start making it. Makes your rice so much better. But yeah, like, don't be afraid of seasoning, and don't be afraid to add texture and flavor to your dishes. It doesn't have to be just chicken, broccoli, and rice every fucking time. Throw in some pineapples, throw in some peas. I've thrown a banana in with my barbecue chicken and rice, and it was fucking delicious. Get some hot sauce, pico de gallo, guacamole, avocados, cherry tomatoes. These things that add crunch to otherwise, soggy dishes that you would be eating 4 to 5 days in a row. It makes a huge difference. Seasoning, don't flavor is fucking great. The more diverse you get with your seasonings and learn like what flavors you like and don't like and how to mix and match these things together, also going to make your food much more enjoyable for 4 or 5 days in a row. The chicken, broccoli, and rice, bro. If you can stomach it and you want to do it, by all means, I'm not going to tell you not to, but it does not have to be the only way. And you do not have to come up with these crazy chemically xanthan gum concoctions, etc., to make a meal prep work. If you like that, I'm not going to tell you not to, but you can eat good whole foods with real seasonings, real flavor, it be enjoyable, healthy, and suit your goals, whether they be surplus, deficit, or in between, and it be affordable. Peace.